Is Black Phone 2 as good as the original? I got to see the sequel early last night. Thank you again to Universal for the invite. I obviously had to wear my Black Phone shirt that I found a few years ago in Chicago and get my icy in a grabber cup, which, side note, was a really cool merch design. It was really fun to see this with an audience. People were laughing and cheering and gasping, and it was a really cool in-theater experience. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of the first film, and I think this lived up to my expectations. It was my most anticipated of the year, and I was definitely happy with how it turned out. I'm keeping this review spoiler-free, but if you don't want to know anything going in, then I will just tell you that if you're a fan of the first, I think you will enjoy this one, and please favorite this and come back and let me know what you thought after you see it. Black Phone 2 takes us into this whole new world where Finney is now 17 and dealing with life after captivity, and his sister Gwen is receiving her own calls in her dreams, while also seeing some pretty disturbing visions of these three boys at Alpine Lake, which is a winter youth camp. I love the new camp setting, and the fact that it's in winter I thought was a really unique choice. The coldness and the iciness of everything really adds to that menacing feel. Can definitely see this one being a seasonal rewatch for me. There's also this shift into the 80s, so we get that aesthetic and the music and the overall vibe of the time. And obviously the Super 8 usage was really cool and added to the graininess and the creepiness of the dream segments. The winter elements also play a big role in the grabber's character design this time around, and he is so much creepier. I loved it. It's more graphic and unsettling. There's some obvious Freddy Krueger-like qualities this time around through the dream hauntings, but I think it was more of a nod, and I really liked what they did with it. Ethan Hawke is obviously iconic as the grabber, and it was so great to see Mason Thames back as Finney. He did really well in some emotional moments that his character navigates, but this truly felt like Gwen's movie. I don't want to ruin any plot points, but Gwen is a badass this time around, and Madeleine did so well bringing that to life. There were some awkward dialogue moments, but she definitely doesn't lose the essence of her character from the first film, and I loved that. They really do expand on Gwen's story, as well as Finney's and everyone else that has returned, but also some new characters that I won't spoil because I think it's better that you go into that blind. The only thing I didn't like is that a few moments for me were kind of easy to figure out, but I don't think it took away from the plot. I actually do think it helped connect everything together. I was just disappointed. I felt like I could figure it out pretty quickly. I also have a pretty high scare tolerance, and the first film's jumps were so great, some that still stick with me to this day, but I thought that there were less jumps this time around. It seemed like they focused more on the imagery, although it did get me one time, I will admit. Have you seen the Black Phone 2 yet? Please let me know in the comments because I want to discuss this with somebody else so badly.